A fire forced hundreds of students out of a school in Broomfield.
The school district is saying that issues with that building, recently laid out in a lawsuit, may be connected to all this. 9 News reporter Ria Joss starts us off with those details. Ria?
Yeah, Adams 12 School District says the fire started underneath the school's crawl space. They say it started where contractors were making repairs to address past sewer line breaks. Weeks before that fire broke out, the district sued the school's builders and architects, claiming they failed to protect the building's utilities from shifting soil.
We moved up here 4 years ago, and the school was what brought us here.
Do you like waking up early?
No, definitely not.
It's a silly question to ask a kid, but for third grader Logan Patton and more than 700 kids at Thunder Vista, they're missing those few extra minutes in bed.
Over the holiday break, their school caught on fire, and they've been temporarily relocated.
Because of that fire on December 27th, the school is now closed for repairs for the rest of the school year. And Drew Patton's kids are now going to separate schools in the district more than 20 minutes away.
I don't think anybody could have predicted that it would have gotten as bad as it did.
Weeks before the fire, the Adams 12 School District filed a lawsuit over the same electrical issues they say caused it.
The root cause he's identified as shifting soils and poor design and construction that did not leave enough room for the soils to expand without breaching these other systems.
Superintendent Chris Gadowski says they've been dealing with these issues for years. The lawsuit describes more than 150 broken pipes, bathrooms pushed out of service, and sewer lines breaking.
We never understood that we had a hazard or a risk of something like a fire emerging that could put anybody at risk. If we would have known that, we would have closed the school.
They're now asking the architect and the builder to pay.
If we don't get that money back, over $6 million, that's more than 60 teachers that we'd have to cut if the money doesn't come back.
I don't know, what would I say to the builders? I don't think I can say that on camera.
Now, Thunder Vista students are split across 4 schools.
I would say disruption in learning would be my biggest concern.
But Drew has hope in the school they moved here for.
I feel like the district has been incredibly transparent every step of the way.
So does Logan.
I love it. Like, my dad asked me to move to a beach or something, and I said, nope, we're staying at this school.
Well, the earliest they'll be able to get back is in the fall. We reached out to the builder and architect groups for the school district. The school district is suing, but haven't heard back yet. Ria Cha, 9 News.
SNAP recipients in Colorado will continue to get their food benefits without extra scrutiny. Today's win for those most needy in Colorado was a loss for the Trump administration. The USDA told Colorado it would need to recertify 100,000 SNAP recipients in 5 metro area counties in 1 month or lose funding. The Trump administration claimed it was an attempt to root out fraud. The state sued to stop that change, and today a judge determined the Trump administration could not prove any evidence of fraud. SNAP recipients will get their benefits at the start of the month, and no one in the metro area will have to go through extra verification. We have heard from plenty of Coloradans frustrated with Xcel's planned power shutoffs. Today, some brought their feedback directly to state regulators.
9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj listened into this virtual town hall. Shalima?
Well, good evening. There was a lot of disappointment from residents and business owners in particular. Many told regulators the shutoff cost them a lot of money, and they want customers to be compensated in the future.
In December, unrelenting winds and bone-dry conditions fueled the potential for fire. Xcel Energy implemented a public safety power shutoff to reduce that risk.
It hit retail, restaurants, tech, professional services during a critical pre-holiday surge.
On Wednesday, the Public Utilities Commission held a virtual town hall. Regulators are coming up with new rules aimed at increasing oversight of planned power shutoffs.
My greatest concern is Xcel's response to us on a customer level.
Both Boulder and Golden have written to Xcel, calling for better communication, seeking accountability. Golden's letter says the prolonged outages resulted in spoiled food, lost wages, canceled services, and significant revenue loss during a critical time of year.
We are their customers, right? And we aren't getting reimbursed.
Well, several people also called on Xcel to move more of their power lines underground. Now, Xcel tells us in a statement that they stand by their decision to implement the public safety shutoff, and they will work with the Public Utilities Commission to respond to the many concerns that have been raised. Shalima Maharaj, 9 News.
And skiers, snowboarders, yes, we are seeing snow flying here in the high country. This is Copper Mountain right behind me. That snow really starting up within the last half hour. And there it is. Those snowflakes are flying. Not expecting a big storm here. We're talking about 1 to 3 inches at Copper Mountain by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. But you know what? We'll take it at this point. Here in Denver, though, we're quiet. We're talking about temperatures in the 30s and 40s. And I'll show you here in just a second a bit more detail on that radar imagery. But notice this difference in temperature between downtown Denver and the airport. We got a lot of cold air that has pooled up along the South Platte River Valley, and that has not mixed its way down to Denver. So that's why it's so much warmer downtown Denver than the airport, a 25-mile gap, but it is certainly much colder out at the airport right now. Now, this looks a lot more ominous, a lot more active than it is, but of course, radar can't travel up and over the mountains. So even though Copper Mountain, which is right about there, you can't see that snow flying there on the radar because, again, those radar beams can't hit it. Well, here along the eastern plains, what we're seeing, virga, rain, snow that is evaporating before it hits the ground. Most of this is not reaching the ground, though. We've had a few reports of some very light flakes on the south side of the metro area. That's not going to accumulate at all, but what will accumulate, that snow that I'm showing you in the mountains. I'll have details on how much snow you can expect and time it out for you in just a couple minutes.
Tonight, nurses gathered at the VA hospital in Aurora for a candlelit vigil, honoring one of their own.
37-year-old Alex Pretti, the man killed by a federal agent in Minneapolis, was an ICU nurse at the VA hospital in that city. 9 News Florida journalist Foster Gaines takes us to the gathering in Aurora.
In the face of injustice, it both hurts and heals my heart to see this crowd tonight. How horrible that we have to gather to mourn our brave union brother and nurse, Alex Pretti. The gravity of his death is immense for all of us nurses who chose this profession. Take a look around in this vigil and lock eyes with the fellow nurses and allies that are standing beside us. As a veteran, I'm deeply proud to know that Alex spent his days helping people like me get through their worst days. And I'm also deeply angered that such violence was used in our home country against our communities. To honor Alex, I pledge to muster every ounce of hope that I get from each and every one of you who's here tonight, and that we use this hope to carry the fight.
I see Alex as an example of what to strive for.
Alex wanted to make a difference in this world. Unfortunately, he will not be with us to see this impact. As we leave this vigil today, let us carry forward the light that's around us, the light of Alex's loving heart, and it's an unwavering promise to build a world where a heart like Alex's is cherished and protected. Thank you, Alex.
Today, the Department of Homeland Security said the 2 Border Patrol agents who fired their guns in the shooting that killed Pretti have now been placed on administrative leave.
The city of Fort Collins is investigating an accident involving a Zamboni that killed one of their workers. It happened at the Dora Pool Ice Center this afternoon. The city says a person driving the Zamboni backed into a partially opened overhead door. They were rushed to a hospital where they later died. The city isn't releasing the name of the employee at this time. An Adams County deputy who was seriously injured in a shooting is now home from the hospital. The sheriff's office told us he was released yesterday. He was shot nearly 2 weeks ago while responding to a call about a disturbance with weapons at an apartment complex. Another person was shot who died at the hospital. And at last check, the sheriff's office said they believed everyone involved was in custody. We asked for an update on that investigation, but they couldn't provide one.
A scandal involving a state DNA analyst could cost taxpayers at least $11 million. That's according to a new report from Colorado's public defenders. Missy Woods faces more than 100 felony charges stemming from accusations she manipulated data in hundreds of cases during her decades-long career. The new report concludes that more than 1,500 cases may be affected. The 2 agencies that provide lawyers to people who can't afford them, Public Defender's Office and the Office of Alternate Defense Counsel, are asking the state legislature for $2 million to deal with these cases. The report also says they've uncovered problems with 3 other forensic analysts, 1 working at a lab in northern Colorado and 2 at CBI. We previously reported an analyst at the lab in Weld County was fired. We're working to learn more about the other 2. A restaurant owner in Denver refuses to let a bunch of burglaries run him out of business.
9 News reporter Colton Chavez is live outside Adobo on Federal, where they're keeping the doors open. Colton.
Yeah, Kim, owner and chef Blaine Bagao says that he learned how to cook from his family, and it's also his family that's helping him push forward.
This is that chicken thigh that we marinate. Very humble food, very family-oriented food.
It's the kind of food that tells a story with every bite.
The saltiness, the sour from the vinegar. Yeah, if I took you to my grandma's house, this would be the exact same flavors.
Chef Blaine Bagao honors his family through his cooking.
As a Filipino-American growing up in New Mexico with my, French-Irish mother and wanting to learn more about my culture, this is for me, the easiest, closest road.
But early Wednesday morning, someone tried to take more than just a family recipe from his restaurant Adobo in Denver.
Some folks came in, broke into the door, took the cash register, took our safe, and were out in 9 minutes or so.
Denver police say this is the third time the restaurant has been burglarized in the nearly 5 years it's been open.
I've been doing stuff on this corner for a long time, and this isn't just, your vandal, your average criminal, your person who needs a meal.
Chef Blaine says he found the strength to reopen later that day from the same roots that brought him here.
Filipinos are especially persistent, and my mother's an incredibly tenacious person.
He says this hurts because the community he feeds also feels like family.
I love serving folks in this community, and if I stay focused on that, I'll forget about this eventually.
Continuing to tell his story, knowing what happened won't define how it ends.
We solve our problems with food and making people really happy.
And anyone with information is encouraged to reach out to the Metro Denver Crime Stoppers with any tips. Live in Denver, Colton Chavez, 9 News.